Hello, good afternoon or good morning. My name is Ko Fujimoto. I am with CDH, Cross Border Family Channel. Today I am going to talk about mistakes of not officially abandoning your green card. Obviously, this is from the tax standpoint. I want to improve your cross-border tax literacy by this series. So let me get started. Okay, so assuming you are currently or you were living in the United States, like this person in the purple color. Now you may go back to your home country, or you have already gone back to your home country. So you may have studied in the United States, worked, say 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and obtained green card, or someone may have obtained US citizenship. However, for certain reasons, you decided to, or you are going to decide to return to your home country. You go back, establish your life, which means probably you would open up your bank accounts, because everyone needs a bank account, right? Open up bank accounts, some may even start your own company. Yeah, I learned a lot of things in the United States. I want to use this, my knowledge and experience that I gained in the US to set up my own company in my home country. Good. Or after you go back, you may receive gifts from your families, or you may receive inheritance from your father, mother, and your relatives. I think that naturally going to happen, right? But let's assume you thought, I am leaving the US, my green card is going to expire anyway, and my US passport, I have it, but it's still there. If I don't use it, then I don't renew it. Okay, so you do nothing about your green card or US citizenship. Obviously, you don't file. You basically forget about filing US tax returns. Meaning, hey, I am leaving the country, I don't live in the US anymore, so I have nothing to do with the US taxes. Unfortunately, that notion is wrong. Wrong. Not correct. What could happen to you is this. If you do not officially abandon your status, your green card or US citizenship, you are still a US tax-wise, US tax resident. And that means you still have the tax responsibilities or tax obligations as a US resident. The violations and the penalties can be. And you may think that, hey, I don't care because I don't go back to the US anyway. You never know, right? You never know. You never know. And also your children may want to go to the US too. So it's gonna be difficult for you to completely cut your ties with the United States. And obviously, of course, it's a rule obligation that comes with the privilege of obtaining green card or U.S. citizenship. So let me get to the penalties and violations. Okay. So first is FBAR violation, foreign financial accounts reporting. The penalties can be 50% of your foreign financial assets or $100,000, whichever is higher, if the IRS determines that you know the rule, but you ignored. Okay? You know the rule, you ignored. And if you don't know the rule, I think the penalties would be lower. $10,000 per year by some states, or $10,000 by each account based on a certain states. Because I think the court cases have not really produced the final unified answers for this one. Anyway, let's get back. What about the gift and the inheritance? Gift and inheritance reporting violation. If you receive over $100,000 of gifts or inheritance combined during the year as a U.S. resident, U.S. tax resident, and you don't report to the IRS, up to 25%, 1/4 of what you received can be your penalty. Can be your penalty. You would lose 1/4 of your received gift or received inheritance. Number 3, not reporting owning 10% or more of a foreign corporation from the U.S. perspective. That if you own, let's say 15%, 20%, you must report in a form called 5471. And if you don't, the penalty is listed as a $10,000 per year. Imagine you were out for 10 years. It's $100,000. It's a lot of money. And finally, not paying taxes on the earnings of your own company. See? Okay, so you go back, set up your own company, and your company is making money. Great, fantastic. But if you're a U.S. resident, there is a rule. It's a Section 965 violation, underpayment of your tax liability, because earnings, some of the earnings of your company really creates your tax liability. Even if it's not the company in the U.S., you must pay taxes to the U.S. government. And that would also come with penalty and interest. So I basically listed 4 consequences of not doing anything when you give up your green card or U.S. citizenship. In other words, if you don't do anything when you go back to your home country about your U.S. green card or U.S. citizenship. There are, I think for green card, there is a distinction between 8 years and over and less than 8 years of holding period. I'm not gonna get into the details in this video because it would confuse people. So there are lots of obviously nuances, exceptions, and very detailed rules, but I want to give you a kind of a big picture. So the point of this video is, if you are ever going back to your home country, and you let the green card or U.S. citizenship go, there are certain, and most likely, I should probably put the word most likely, there would be obligation for you to officially terminate tax-wise the green card and U.S. citizenship. So that's the point of this video. So I heard last week there will be a new $80 billion funding from the new law that President Biden was able to make. I think it's still in the process, but that will probably become a law. So they would get additional $80 billion, and they would, I think, they would most likely focus also more on people like you, cross-border professionals. So please be aware with these consequences, and it could be very severe. So before you leave, please consult with a professional, tax accountant or professional attorneys about your tax ramifications or tax impact about your planned action. Obviously that's very important. And disclaimer is, I just put complicated area into very simple slides. So there will be exceptions and there are different rules, but I want you to understand my disclaimer. So we have a cross-border family practice, and we are helping people who wants to have a cross-border lifestyles. You must, deal with two countries' tax system. We are not, advocating that we know two countries' tax laws completely, but we know very well about the tax consequences for the U.S. side. Very narrow, specialized area. Okay, so that's the message of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you at some other time. Take care.